discussion topic is Core Java again, but this is the part 2 of Core Java, in which we are going to cover some important topics like identifiers, variables and constants, then about the data types like primitive and non-primitive types, then how to print the statement in Java program, then about the commenting section also, how to provide the comments in the single line and multi-line comments, then about the wrapper classes, then we will study about Java packages, and in the last we will discuss about some access specifiers. So let's move to our first slide. So what are identifiers? Basically, identifiers are like the names which are used to identify any variable. Like it can be used for variable, a function or a class or anything. And the most important thing is that identifier must be very meaningful. It must have the name, like if we are using for the employee ID, then we must create identifier name as EMP ID that will represent the employee ID. So if we are taking the value for the name of the student, then we can take identifier as student name. So it must be very meaningful. So then again we are having some specified rules to create the identifier, as it must start with an alphabet or an underscore. Then it can have numbers also. So it cannot have any kind of white space like student space name. It is not allowed over here. So we can use the underscore in between like student underscore name like this. Then any reserved or predefined values or names cannot be used as identifier. Then we can also use the identifier as it will start with like alphabets. Then after we can use a number like num1 and num1 are different. It means that if we are taking smaller case and uppercase, both will represent two different values. Then an identifier should be very meaningful. As I have discussed, if we are having a long lengthy program and we are not having any meaningful names for the identifiers, then the program will be very complex to understand and interpret. So that must be very meaningful. So the next we are having about information, that is variables and constants. Variables, as the name represents, variable means that it will specify some memory location where we can store the data according to the requirement. But this will be temporary. We can modify and change the value as per need. So the next we are having constant. Constant is a variable whose values cannot be changed. It means that the value will remain the same if we use the constant. For this we use final as keyword before the variable or identifier. So next we are having one simple program, as we have taken one keyword, that is final, in the main function. As we can see, final int x is equal to 10. It will have the value 10. It means that x is a variable of type integer which is having 10 value. Then further we are having another variable, that is y, of the same type integer. Then we are assigning a value 20 to the y variable. Then we are trying to just change the value by assignment operator x is equal to y. But we can see in the output that it cannot modify the value of x because we have taken the keyword final. So it will represent us the error. So in the next slide I have shown that if we are not taking final as keyword, then we can easily modify the value. So now it is modifying the value of x. It means that y's value will be assigned to x and x value will get modified into 20, which was 10 before. So here we have not used any final keyword. So this is the difference between the normal variable and the constant variable. So next we are having some information about data types. So what are data types? Data types are used to specify the types of data holding by the variable. It means that if the variable is having any integer value, we will use the int as data type. If we are using a variable which will hold the value like name of the person, then it must be like of character or strings. So these are basically of two types, that is primitive and non-primitive. So let's move to our next slide, in which I have given some information about primitive data types. So primitive data types are already predefined. We cannot modify the values there. And I have taken one table in which I have given a single one-line explanation for every data type. So there are total 8 data types: byte, int, long, short, then double, float, char and boolean. So boolean will be used for values like true and false representation. So next we are having non-primitive data types. So as the name represents, non-primitive means that these are not predefined. If the developer want to use the user-defined data types, then he or she can create the non-primitive data types like string can be used for characters, words and sentences. Then array is used for taking the multiple value of one type. Like if we want to represent values from 1 to 100, we can take array. It will represent the 100 values. So basically non-primitive data types are made from the primitive data types, but in the extended and advanced way. So in the next slide we are having how to print the statement. So for printing the single line we use system.out.print. But if we in case want to represent the lines, if we are having multiple lines, in the next line we must have the statement like system.out.println. It means that it will give the enter after this statement. So the next line will be printed in the next further lines, not in the same continuous line. So like in the example, in the snapshot over here, if I have used in the last line we can check system.out.println. So we are having the value of x in the next line. So in the first line it will represent the value of x is, then x value. So next we are having how to provide the comments in the Java program. So in order to give the multiple line comment, we need to start it with the slash, then asterisk sign. Then we can provide the multiple line statements, then the closing. For single line commenting, we just need to provide the double slashes. It will work. So comments basically are given to understand and interpret the whole program. So comments are really important to make a good programming. So the next we are having wrapper class. So wrapper classes are the classes which are very important. These classes whose objects contain some primitive data types. I have taken the example over here also. The wrapper classes I have mentioned. So the next we are having information about Java packages. So now as the name represents, packages means that a bag we can say, in which we are having classes, interfaces, sub packages, sub parts also. So why the Java packages are really important? Because it provides us the data hiding. Data hiding means that we need not to provide each and every instruction in the open way. We can have separate packages for the different requirements. It will have like classes also, interfaces, sub packages, etc. So in order to use the packages, we need to import. We need to write one simple line in our Java program like import java.util.asterisk. Asterisk means that whatever utilities are provided in the util package, it will be imported to our program. So next, we are having two types of packages, that is user defined and again one is predefined. So these are the two types under Java packages. So let's move to next slide. We have some specifiers. It means that who can access the variables and functions and who cannot. So according to that, we can mention the access specifiers. There are four types of specifiers over here: public, private, protected and default. Public means that anybody can use this. Next is private. Private simply means that it cannot be accessed from outside from the class. Only within class it can be used. Then is protected. Protected means that some specified persons, some specified class, I mean to say, they can use those variables, functions or anything, and others cannot. So that is protected. So it can be accessed within the package, outside the package, through the child class only, not others. So the protected data can be accessed within the class or by the derived class, we can say. So next we are having default. Default means that it can be accessible within the package but not from outside the package. That is default. So this was all about the wrapper classes and Java packages and some other information. So let's move to MCQ. So our first question is, which access specifier allows only derived class to access the data member? So the correct answer is option number 4, protected. It means that only some can use and others cannot. That is protected way. So the next question is, which data type can hold the value as true or false only? So the correct answer is Boolean. To represent true or false, that is 1 or 0, we can simply use the Boolean value. Like we are having any condition like if. So in that case we can use Boolean values. So this was the end of today's representation on Core Java Part 2 information. Thank you so much.